Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and I am the tutor education lead and a graduate tutor here at the Writing and Multiliteracy Center. Today I'm just going to be going over some of the new VoiceThread updates. It's not anything too major. However, us at the WMC admin team wanted to provide this video for you guys so that way you can review some of the new VoiceThread changes, some of the new features, and feel more confident when you are using the new VoiceThread. But I'm going to share my screen right now. And as you can see here, we have the home page. It looks a little bit different than the old VoiceThread. For starters, one here, all of the voice threads, they're organized as a gallery view, whereas before they were organized in a list view. You can also change the order by which it displays items right here. So right now it's sorted by last active, but however, you could do the newest one first or even the oldest one, but I'm going to keep it here as the last active. Another thing that's a little bit different is the display preferences, which is really cool. So with the old VoiceThread, I believe it defaulted to a dark mode view. However, if I go here to display preferences, I could change it. So either to system settings, so during the day it'll be light theme, during the evening it will be dark theme, or I can just pick one or the other. I'm going to keep it with the system settings here, but here's what it looks like in dark mode. I'm just going to change it back right now, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go into a voice thread that I did about a week ago just to show you some of the new features that you can play with. So I'm just going to click this play button. So the first thing here is that VoiceThread incorporated something called gallery view, which I think is very helpful. So previously, if I wanted to go, let's just say right here, I'm on page 1 and I wanted to skip ahead to page 4, I would have to click this arrow right here and go through each slide until I get to that slide. However, with gallery view, you can skip around from one page to another in non-sequential order. So if I wanted to go back to page 1, I just click page 1, which is very helpful. I would say that this is one of the better features that VoiceThread has incorporated, and it's a new update that I really like. Another thing as well that you'll notice is right now, this part is collapsed. However, if I click on this little sidebar right here and expand it, it shows me the full comment. Since this is a video one, if I click play, it'll show it to me here. Or I could even keep it collapsed and just click play and it'll pop out on the side. I'm going to skip ahead to a slide with 2 or more comments. So I'm going to collapse the gallery view. You can do that by just clicking this button right here. So if I collapse this, and then I'm going to open up this sidebar, you'll see at the top right here, there is something called comment management mode. So what this is that on previous versions of VoiceThread, you could basically rearrange a comment. So let's just say if I wanted to drag this comment up, you could just click and drag, not a problem. However, with the new VoiceThread, you do have to enable this comment management mode in order to rearrange the order of these comments. If I keep this sidebar open and I just flip to the next page, it'll automatically keep this comment management mode on. However, if I do collapse this, and I go to this next one and reopen it, I do have to manually turn it back on again. So I know that that's a little bit tedious, but I just wanted to make you guys aware of that simply because with the old version, you could just click and drag super easy, but with this one, you do have to manually turn this mode on. Another thing though that is pretty nice about this new version is let's just say you record comments and you want to delete them. You can always just click on the comment here that you want to delete, select it, and click the trash icon. Or if for some reason you want to delete all of them, you could click this button that says select all comments. Or let's just say, let me click to a slide where I have more than 2. If I wanted to just delete, let's just say this comment and this comment, I can click on those, click the trash icon, or I can select all of them. Do we think that you're going to use this very often? Probably not, but it is something good to be aware of. So I'm going to just turn this off and collapse this. Another thing that VoiceThread has done is that they've given us a new way to view the comments. So as you can see here, this old or traditional view of VoiceThread, it's called multi conversation mode. Basically what it means is that when you flip between a slide, it's just going to show you the comments for that slide. However, if I go in here and I click these 3 dots, and I click thread settings, they've enabled a new feature that's called one conversation mode, which means that all of the comments for the whole voice thread are going to be displayed on that sidebar from first to last comment. So if I just click on this, you can also click on this one here as well if you would like. Basically, it just enables it so that it goes from one comment to the next automatically. I'm going to save that. So as you can see, all of the comments now are on this sidebar. One thing I will say though that I personally don't like about this one conversation mode is I'm going to go back to this first page here. So I filmed my introduction in the overview section last. So you'll see that this is actually the last comment. You would think that VoiceThread would put it as the first comment since it's the first comment on the first slide and that it would go by slide order. However, the way that they have set up one conversation view is that it's in order of when you recorded the comment. So because I recorded this comment last, it's sorted as the last comment in this thread. Whereas I recorded my first bit of feedback as the first comment. And so now it's going in order of when I recorded it. So from a student perspective, if a 2T was rewatching this and they, for some reason, enabled this one conversation view, it would be a little bit confusing just because this is the last comment here, this introduction overview section, and they wouldn't know that obviously. Or let's just say like you recorded the intro like halfway through your voice thread for some reason. It would be sorted as a middle comment here, which would make it even more difficult to find. But you will see if I play this first comment, it'll just flow right into the next one. So that is one thing that's kind of cool. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of this view. I like the traditional voice thread view of the multi-conversation mode. I'm just going to disable it by going back to thread settings. I'm going to unclick these boxes and we're back. One thing I will say is that automatically when you do a voice thread, it's going to have it as this traditional voice thread view of the multi-conversation mode. So I wouldn't worry too much about the one conversation mode. It can only turn on if you enable it manually. So it's not really a big deal. Another thing that VoiceThread has updated that is actually, I think, a useful and a nice feature. Side note, by the way, this plus button here is actually on the left side instead of the middle. Wow, so innovative. But they have enabled basically where when you zoom in, you can pan the view where you move up and down. You can scroll up and down on the slide, which is pretty cool. So I'm just gonna pretend like I'm recording a comment here. You can skip the countdown by clicking this button. And let's just say I want to zoom in and I want to doodle. So I'm going to pick color, draw a line right here. And let's just say I want to scroll up and down. So I'm going to hold the shift key here and then I can move up and down, which is pretty nice. Whereas before with VoiceThread, if you wanted to move up and down for the slide, you weren't able to do so. So I couldn't keep it zoomed in and also pan up and down. If I wanted to show a different section, I would have to zoom out and make it smaller so that way the student could see the whole thing. So I think that that is actually a pretty nice feature. And let's just say you zoom in here and you want to stay here and doodle, you just release the shift key and then you can do the doodle feature and then hit the shift again if you want to pan up and down. And then of course, if you want to go out, you can click the zoom out. So I'm going to delete this comment, but I think that that is a pretty nice feature that VoiceThread has incorporated. Overall, these are not drastic updates by any means. Quite frankly, I think that a lot of the updates with VoiceThread are purely aesthetic. As you can see here, it just looks a bit different. It has the blue theme, which is nice. They move some of the buttons around. So the plus button, like I mentioned earlier, is on the left. And then they also moved that closed captioning button. So that is down here on the right-hand side, instead of it, believe, being up at the top like it was before. But nothing too drastically has changed. One other thing is that when you are sending your voice thread, you want to make sure that it can be where anyone with the link can view it. And so this is automatically enabled, I believe, here, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about it when you're telling the student assistant that it's all ready to go. But those are all the changes with VoiceThread. I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. Feel free to reach out to someone from the WMC admin team if you do have any questions about how to use the new features in VoiceThread. But with that being said, I hope they have a great time using these new features and that they're helpful for you. If you have any feedback in terms of what you found helpful, what you found to be a bit difficult or confusing about this update, please let us know. We want to hear as much feedback as possible so that way we can update our training days workshop for you guys. So that way you feel like you are ready to go with utilizing all of the new features in VoiceThread. But I hope that this has been helpful, and I'll see you guys soon.